Hello there, this is tusharkumarmirche with Vivek alongside, and in this video we are discussing about hashing and its applications.
So what is hashing? Hashing is the process of converting a given key into another smaller value. This is done by taking the help of some functions or algorithms, which is called hash function, to map data to some encrypted or simplified representative values, which is further termed as hash or hash code. This hash is then used as an index to narrow down search criteria to get data quickly. Now, what makes hashing so interesting? Retrieving data in big O of one time from database. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आप किसी किसी डेटा को उठाएंगे किसी डेटाबेस से तो वो एक कांस्टेंट टाइम लेगा जिसकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होती है बिग O ऑफ वन, ना कि लिस्ट और अरेज जैसे जो कि डिफरेंट टाइम्स लेते हैं. Now, why use hashing? Of course, it is quicker than searching for lists and arrays. As we spoke earlier, it has a time complexity of big O of 1. So, searching using hashing is better than searching in list and arrays. Also, hashed password cannot be modified or stolen, so it is difficult to hack the hashed passwords.
Now, what is a hash table? A hash table is a data structure that implements an associative array abstract data type, a structure that can map keys to values. A hash table uses a hash function to compute an index, also called the hash code, into a slot from which the desired value can be found. This is a pictorial representation of how hash tables work. But wait, what is a hash function? A hash function is a function that can be used to map a data of arbitrary size into a fixed size values.
Now, what are good hash functions? The functions which are easily computable and the functions that uniformly distribute the keys. That means the functions that make hash table in which the keys are uniformly distributed are considered good hash functions.
Some of the various applications of hashing include message digest, password verification, use as data structure in programming languages, compiler operation, Rabin-Karp algorithm, and linking file name and part together. And in this video, we'll be discussing about these four in detail. One of the most commonly used application of hashing. But before getting into its advantages, let us look at the ways in which passwords are stored. First, as a plain text, which is one of the most unsafe way to store a password, because if the hacker manages to breach the database, it can easily get access to your passwords. Another method used is the password encryption method, in which a password is encrypted by an encryption lock, but it's still unsafe, because if the hacker manages to steal the encryption key anyhow, he can get access to the passwords. The problem with encryption is that it works in two ways, and that is where the hashing comes into focus, as it supports only one way of encryption. Hashing converts information into fixed size bits, and this method, in which companies can easily verify that you are logging with the correct password without actually knowing your password, and this is a very interesting property to have. This is the SHA-3 hashing function, in which hello world is converted into a hash. Another useful application of hashing is the Rabin-Karp algorithm. The Rabin-Karp algorithm is a string searching algorithm that uses hashing to find an exact match of a pattern string in a text. It uses a rolling hash to quickly filter out the position of the text that cannot match the pattern and then checks for a match in the remaining positions. Generalizations of the same idea can be used to find more than one single pattern or to find matches for more than one pattern. A rolling hash is a hash function where the input is hashed in a window that moves through the input. This is the function or the algorithm for the Rabin-Karp. Now, how is this useful? It is useful because the hash table checks whether a substring hash equals any of the pattern hashes in big O of one time on an average. That is, the time required is independent of the size of the string.
Now moving on to the third application, we have online spell check. For implementing the online spell check, you should design and implement a spell checker class, which contains the hash tables needed to perform spell checking and which provides the proper functionality. This class should contain at least one constructor which will look similar to like this. String dictionary file is the name of the provided dictionary. A string misspelling file is the name of the file that provides a mapping from commonly misspelled words to the correct spellings. And lastly, the int table size is the number of buckets in hash table. Now moving on to the fourth and last application of hashing, we have the digital signature. The digital signature is basically a one-way hash of the original data that is encrypted with the signer's private key. To explain this, I have an example with a diagram over here. So suppose we have a person A and person B, and person A wants to send message to person B without any integration in between. Here we have a message that we pass through hash function which generates hash value here. This is the hash function. Further, we append the message and the hash value using some appending algorithm. So here we run the appending algorithm. Then we encrypt the message and hash value with some private key, say A. This is the private key, and here we run encryption. So we will get this message and hash together. So now when we have to extract the message, we will pass it through the decryption algorithm. This is the decryption algorithm. Using the public key A, say A, and we will get the message and the hash value again. So we have got the message one here, and we have got the hash here. So when we pass this hash again through the hash function, we will get the hash value, and when we compare this hash value to this one, it should be same. Okay, so if we compare this and these both match, we will get to know there is no encryption in between.
That's it for this presentation. For any queries, let us know in the comment section below or feel free to mail us. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day ahead and keep learning.